Welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. We're in the final dungeon of the game Memoria, and it's quite a trippy one.
Yeah, they even changed up the save points because it makes no sense for Moogles to be here.
So now they've got the traditional glowy thing.
Yep.
Sort of. It also functions, I think, as an exit point.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
This is the only...
Did they also restore HP and MP? I don't remember.
No, you can do tenths there, though.
But you can do 10s, okay.
And this is the only encounter in the entire dungeon.
These things?
Yep.
Iron Giants.
Iron Giants, yeah.
Oh man, you guys, I feel so bad. Nobody went to see your movie.
I did.
I did.
Yeah,
because
as
I knew
said,
better.
Nobody went to see your movie.
The thing about this monster is, it's always been, like, a really big endgame level monster in Final Fantasy, but then Final Fantasy X throws it in all over the place because, fuck, we needed a fourth type of enemy to spam.
So, do you only ever fight one of these guys, or...
No, they're the random encounter of the dungeon.
Oh, no, I meant, like, one of these guys at once. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. That's, Like...
Now, Iron Giants have always been that big bruiser enemy that hits hard and is tough to take down. So...
Yeah, but it's kind of weird having only one monster in the final dungeon, though. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah, it is. Are you sure there aren't any others?
Yeah, there are more than Iron Giants in Memoria. I think Ryan just probably had shit luck and only encountered Iron Giants.
Yeah,
Oh,
possibly.
you're doing what I do. Oh man, yeah. Potions are super cheap, so you buy like 99 of them. And
No,
then
I just had 99.
And then...
Oh.
And then you just, like, dump them down your character's throats between every battle.
Well, I'm at the final dungeon. I have no other use for them.
I think either to the left or right of that hallway, the opening hallway Memoria, you can find Kane's Lance.
Now, here's my question. Are you gonna fight the card ghosts?
Don't think so.
Oh.
Which means no.
What's a card
So
ghost?
every
Yeah,
once in a while.
There's a random thing in Memoria. There are ghosts, invisible card players that you can find in certain places, indicated only by exclamation points. I think Ryan just walked right past one. There should be one on that little outcropping
They're trapped
there.
in the Shadow Realm?
Essentially. But yeah, you can fight them to get some pretty good cards at this point in the game. So.
Well, who else are you gonna play card games against?
Other ghosts.
Anyway,
it's time for a boss fight.
Oh, is this Kari?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Carrie.
Maliris.
We've never seen you before.
Well, technically we did in one of the cutscenes, but...
Well, is one of the people on your team with you? That was fighting?
Actually, I think this might have been the one that Amrit and Freya fought. No, actually, you know what? There's someone on this team from all four teams.
Oh, okay then.
Because it was Zidane and Kina, Dagger and Aiko, Vivian, Steiner, Amarant, and Freya.
It all adds up. Totally intentional by Ryan, I'm sure.
Hold on a moment. So what determines whether or not you get the long animation or the short one? Because I know that
Random.
you get the...
Whether you hold down the button.
Oh.
Holding down the button, I think, affects it, but I think it's still an odds thing. And when you have boost, you're pretty much guaranteed full animations all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, but I know that you're more likely to get the short one after you use the long one, but this was the first summon sheet used in the battle, so it was a little bit weird.
Yeah, well, the first summon only gets you the long animation the first time you use a summon ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So these, you fight all four of the elemental archfiends in Memoria, but they're not random battles.
No, they're entirely scripted.
Yeah, they're scripted in certain spots of the game. You'll know exactly you're in for a boss fight when you see that distinctive swirly intro.
Yeah, when you go for a random battle, the swirl goes straight into the screen. When you go for a battle, it swirls out, for a boss battle rather, it swirls out and then in.
Yeah. Oh, a little weird about that.
I'm kind of reminded of Pokemon where the
You know
like the
what's
Whitley
really, you know what's really, really weird about Marilis' design here? She has legs inside her body. She's like doing a knee split inside her body.
Is that what that is? Because I always figured
Yeah.
that was part of like a design of a cobra.
You'd think so, and at first glance it looks like it, but if you look close at the model, she's got like all the anatomical contours of women's legs. It's actually,
And that's what's
frankly-
protruding near her arms.
Yeah, it's really disturbing, actually.
Yeah, it's like I thought it was just the cobras. Well, what are those? Is that like fins or?
I don't know what you would call them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's just... It's one of those details that sort of gets lost in PlayStation 2 graphical quality sometimes. You probably have an easier time seeing it in concept art. But, yeah.
So
I
is
actually only just noticed it.
So is this battle like the original Final Fantasy one, where if you step on the same tile again, you have to fight the boss again?
No.
That'd be some shit if they did that, but
We see shades of that later down this dungeon, but not to that extreme.
Yep. Oh man, it's so nice to see a Final Fantasy game at its end game where you're not doing 9,999 damage with literally everything. It's like that kind of bugs me about the end game balance of 7 and 8 is that everything does 9,999 by that point. So
Even like
the only-
physical
yeah.
attacks?
Yeah, so basically your individual attacks stop mattering and it becomes whether or not you can fire off skills that have multi-hit in order to get past that 9,999 damage limit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the concept for Merilith, and yeah, those are legs. What the fuck?
Sexy?
well, it's dead, so
Yep. It's dead.
Yay.
Couldn't get any more deader than dead.
Um,
Dead.
Okay then.
And your characters don't acknowledge the boss battle at all. either.
Well, it looks
No.
kind of random.
It does look kind of random, but yeah, it's just a really strange callback to Final Fantasy 1. Because the same thing happens when you're going through the final dungeon of Final Fantasy 1. You hit a certain square on the battlefield, and bam, boss fight.
Merilith's also one of the only sources of Genji armor in this entire game. If you steal from her.
Huh.
It's probably also a reason to have kind of a boss rush kind of thing going on in the final dungeon. So just so it's not just random battles on your way through, which makes sense.
Yeah, but you know what? When it comes to that, Final Fantasy VIII, as far as I'm concerned, has one of the best final dungeons in the series. I love that final dungeon. Just the way it's set up is great. Did I tell you guys about this in a previous part?
That's the one where you have to like find all your commands again,
Yeah,
right?
and in order to find those commands, you have to find the bosses that are scattered around the dungeon and defeat them one after another.
So you
Okay, first one I'm looking for is the fight command.
Oh yeah, so how do you beat the first boss then?
The first boss is very close to the entrance and is so piss poor that if you've got a decent enough physical stat, you can just beat it with physical attacks.
Oh, so you keep like your whack-em command, and that's
It's
it.
the only command that you keep in battle, actually. All you get is the attack command and your limit breaks. You don't even get to use items in battle.
Oh, okay.
But you know, Ultimisi's castle is just laid out in such an interesting way, and you're switching between two parties, kind of like in Final Fantasy VI, going through it. So it really is the high point of the game.
I always enjoyed the Lunar Subterranean in Final Fantasy IV, but God forbid you're not prepared. Because
Oh.
backtracking through that place is a nightmare.
Oh no, okay. Final Fantasy IV. I loved that game. First time I played it, I was underleveled in the US version. I know, I suck. Well, actually, that was because I had skipped a couple of the optional areas because I didn't find them. But anyway, I had gotten to the final boss, and I was playing on the Wii U, on the Wii Virtual Console. So I had done like the suspend state that the Wii has by where you press the home button and you end, and then it'll keep you where you were for like one time, and then you can go play something else. My brother took the game, reset it because he wanted to play on his file, and I was literally right before the final boss on that suspended. I had to go through the entire second half of the dungeon again, and it was miserable. I hated it.
Yeah, I think we've all been there at some point.
This is also the same brother who deleted my Sonic Adventure 2 save file. So,
Oh.
thanks, Peter. I love you great.
Can't even finish the
I like how
sentence.
there's a door in this guy's eyeball, in this thing's eyeball.
We
Man.
got another boss swirly. Thought we were fighting the eye for a second here, but actually no. I think it's Tiamat.
That's a great background, I gotta say.
Yeah. And now we're fighting Tiamat, yeah. Three-headed dragon.
Cool.
Green eyes ultimate dragon? I don't know. What color eyes does this thing have? I can't see the eyes.
It would be something eyes.
Amaranth, traitor!
What the flying fuck? Did it absorb physical?
No, it may be the element of Amaranth's claws.
Oh.
What claw was he using?
I have to check to be.
Okay, you know what? It has to be wind-based because I'm looking at Tiamat's stats and she absorbs wind.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that was the wind crystal. Or
Oh
whatever.
man. You threw a Silicon Knights game at a dragon and somehow it killed her.
Alright, sure. Are they ever gonna make a sequel to Eternal Darkness? Because I know that's a Nintendo-owned property.
I don't know.
No.
What's the status of Silicon Knights these days? I never hear anything about them.
I think they went under because 2 Humans sucked. So, yeah.
That's unfortunate. Silicon Knights is behind some of my favorite games too. If it weren't for them, we'd have no Legacy of Kain series, and I wouldn't be raging to this day that the story is incomplete. Ugh.
Maybe it needs another 10 years.
Well, they were making another Legacy of Kain game, and in fact, I've seen footage of the prototype. It looked really interesting. You had this human and a vampire who were like soul bonded or something, and you sort of had this tag team style of play. But
Did you attack Tiamat again?
I'm using the throwing stuff now.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, it didn't work the first time.
But
try
they
again.
scrapped the game, and they used resources that they made for it in that Nosgoth MMO thing, fucker. And oh god, did the Legacy of Kain fans rage at that.
Well, with other franchises getting revivals of some sort, I would say it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, at the same time, though, Amy Hennig doesn't work for them anymore. She's with Naughty Dog, or at least she was the last time I checked. I don't know where she is now.
Was she like the main brains behind that franchise?
She was the head writer, I believe, yeah. Well, as of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and onward, I don't think she was involved in the original that Silicon Knights did. One of my favorite writers in video gaming. And she was involved in the Uncharted series as well.
So what do you... I know that when you throw something, you don't get it back. So what do you tend to throw at people with Amaranth, then?
Whatever's available.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess...
There are items you can buy specifically for that, though. I think
Yeah.
Rising Suns are one.
So, are you alternating between Bahamut and Ark just for the sake of variety?
Yep.
I can't blame
One
you.
beam or the other beam.
Why can't you summon both at the same time?
Why don't you have Boost in Odin's sword yet?
I don't think he went back to Isman's castle to get the item.
No, I didn't.
So does that mean he doesn't have Odin?
Well, he has Odin, but he doesn't have the ability to let Odin inflict damage, so Odin's useless now.
Oh, so Odin can only do instant kills to normal enemies, then.
Yeah, unless you equip the Odin sword ability, at which point he becomes a damaging summon as well.
Somebody wake Amaranth up. And if you're wondering why Tiamat casts float on a character, it's because he or she has an attack called Snort.
Tiamat is a female deity, so I would assume that the monster is female as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never really specified within Final Fantasy itself, because
It's
no,
not
it's
super
really-
important.
Yeah, it's not important.
yeah, Tiamat is just always a dragon who looks vaguely like Bahamut. In fact, I'm pretty sure Tiamat in Final Fantasy VIII's Final Dungeon is just a color swap of Bahamut's 3D model.
Less Bahamut, more King Ghidorah. It's only because of 3 heads.
Well, in Final Fantasy VIII, it's literally the same dragon model.
Oh.
This dungeon is really trippy, though. Like, I know it's, like, made up of memories or something, because it's
Yeah.
called Memoria, so...
It kind of pulls that same trick that the Final Fantasy VI final dungeon does, but in Final Fantasy VI, it was an amalgamation of different structures from across the game because Kefka constructed his tower out of junk from all over the place. So you were going through a bunch of pieces of old areas over the course of Kefka's tower. In Memoria, it's a much more mystical amalgamation of stuff that's happened, and you get extra story exposition about certain things along the way, which makes it a lot more engaging in that sense. Although, when you boil it down, Memoria is just a walk from one end of the dungeon to the other fighting things kind of affair, so from a gameplay standpoint, it's nothing special.
Yeah, it's a giant hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the case of an interesting-looking hallway, at the very least. Not just, like, graphically, but also from a story
So,
perspective.
basically, what you're saying is it's Final Fantasy 13, but good.
I
Yeah,
was waiting for it.
linearity is not inherently bad. You guys have to... By you guys, I'm not talking about you guys, because you guys are smart and you all know this.
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah,
to everybody.
it's not.
It's
Yeah.
not inherently bad. It just it actually allows you to have a much more focused experience than a non-linear adventure might have. But that you just have to use that focus well and make sure
Yeah.
that what you're crafting is interesting. Because otherwise, it is
Yeah.
just a hallway. So
Not to mention, I think linearity is more accepted in dungeons to begin with.
yeah.
The key is balance, and the key is not making your entire goddamn game linear, and saving the only non-linear area for the last hours of the game. Jesus Christ.